Hello, everybody, and welcome to Popcorn Planet live here on Fandom Wire. So excited to be here every weekday around 2 p.m. with today's breaking news conversations, getting you guys involved in the conversation. So happy to have you. I see a lot of you already coming in the comments over on Facebook, Fandom Wire News, and YouTube, Popcorn Planet. Sorry, it's a mouthful, but I got it all out. This week we're going to be talking about, or today rather, we're going to be talking about new Uncharted movie information, as well as Emperor Palpatine is a clone. That's what everyone's talking about. Let's break it all down. First up, I got my go-to man, Nerd Lecca. What's up, Lewis?
How you doing, Andy? Man, you know what? I used to hate Mondays. Everyone hates Mondays, but now that you kind of like call me to be like your co-host here once in a while, and today's Monday, I'm really excited, man. I'm just made my week. Starting off the week perfectly. Everyone on Facebook, please share this video. It's really important.
And go smash that like button on Facebook.
Smash.
You can start leaving your comments about your thoughts on this and Emperor Palpatine. We're going to go through them on air as we go. But let's get straight to it. I got two expert fans on the line that I'm gonna introduce in a second, talking about Uncharted, because I have to be fair. I don't play Uncharted. I know them. I know the fan film with Nathan Fillion. That's who I see as Nathan Drake. But I know people are gonna be like, Andy, what the heck? Why are you doing a video about a video you don't know? Well, that's why I brought in two experts, guys. But I do know that we have Devin Colson on the line. Let me see if I can get him in. Devin, are you there? Oh, I thought Devin, I can't hear you. Well, he's got to turn his microphone on. Hit the microphone thing. I see you, but I don't hear you. Just click on that while he's figuring it out. While he's working on figuring out how to get his microphone working.
Yeah.
We have this story that Devin helped us write. Devin, keep trying to talk when you get there. It should work. But we have this the scoop that Devin helped write about Uncharted, particularly this exclusive information about who's in it. We knew that Tom Holland was playing Nathan Drake. We knew that Mark Wahlberg was playing Sully, not to be confused with Sully on the Hudson. This is a different Sully. I had to look that up because I don't play the game. So here we go. Here's what we learned. Based on the series, Tom Holland is the film's protagonist, Nathan Drake. Many are worried he's too young to play the character based on the Sony's games, but they're taking liberties and they're doing sort of a prequel. It's like a younger version before the other games. And production treatment that we got our hands on called him as an archaeologist treasure hunter with muscles, not the kind you get from the gym, but from dodging bullets. His parents believed they were descendants of Sir Francis Drake, a famous archaeologist and discoverer of El Dorado, a belief that Drake doesn't share. Regardless, his parents' legacy got him sucked into a race against the ruthless crime lord to discover El Dorado, which it does. He's right. It does sound like a Tomb Raider reboot. I still don't hear you, Devin, so keep trying to play with your little microphone and camera settings because we don't hear you. Something's turned off on your settings there. Mark Wahlberg will be portraying a slightly younger version of his closest friend and partner from the series, Victor Sully Sullivan. Other than that, no other actress or actress has joined. Well, now we have some new information about that. A few characters will be joining Nathan and Sully along the way. Casting is underway for Chloe Fraser, the character, to make her big screen debut. The movie describes her as being an impulsive and reckless adventurer, but also witty, devious, and fun-seeking. At first, she appears selfish, caring, a little for anything but her goal. However, Chloe is later seen as a loyal and determined character. She is as skilled as Drake and Sullivan in gun battles and fights. Chloe Fraser made her game debut in Uncharted 2. This will also introduce a new villain named Johnson. This was exclusive we got. Fandom Wire. If you guys go to fandomwire.com, you can get these exclusives. But this is a new villain they're introducing in the game, or sorry, the movie. He hasn't been in any games. His character is described as being intimidating, tough with superior physical skills, and a charm that can mask a darker, menacing side. Other classic Uncharted characters expected to appear, which we've confirmed, are Eddie Raja, Gabriel Roman, Cutter, Atak Navarro, and Nathan's parents are also expected to make some sort of appearance. At the time when we wrote this, there wasn't a director still. They were trying to get a director in place. This is a movie that's had countless directors come and go, but they were trying to get in Venom and Zombieland director Ruben Fleischer to helm the film. As Tom then also told IGN, it'll be an origin story to the game, which will help explain his age. That's what we know. That's what we knew so far. And now today we've learned that Antonio Banderas is joining the film and that Ruben Fleischer has finally signed on and officially is directing this film, which is supposed to start shooting in like a week or so. So this was a mad dash to get this film after many directors had come and gone.
Many.
Now we know that Antonio is joining on, and I can only, I can't, sorry, Devin, I can't try. Can I hear you? I still can't hear you. It looks like Devin's audio isn't working. Sorry, Devin. But we have another expert on. So Devin, unless you can figure that out, so I guess it doesn't work. It's something on your click your switch or something. Something on your microphone, iPad isn't playing. But I do have Brendan. Brendan, are you there?
Yeah, I'm right here.
Woohoo!
And I wouldn't exactly call myself an expert, per se, I guess. Thank you for having me, though.
Expert. Compared to this panel, you're an expert. Everyone who actually knows the game. So I'm going to call you the expert until Devin, if and when Devin gets his audio fixed. But Brendan.
I'm pretty sure Devin.
Yeah. Yeah, and sorry, Devin, I see you, but I can't hear you. Brent, we'll try this. If you can't do it, then you can just log off. We'll try it next time. But Brendan and Devin wrote the article, so bravo, Devin, for the good piece. Sorry, I didn't get your audio working. But Brendan, I wanted to try and get a couple fans in here to talk about this because I'm excited for this movie because I haven't played the game, and based off of the document I've seen, the production document and everything else. Look, I think this looks fun. This looks like it could be cool. I like Tom Holland. Tom Holland clearly won the franchise. As a player of the game, the only one who has played the game, I'm curious your insight. What do you think of all this news, this casting? What are your feelings so far on this?
I mean, I don't mind the idea of Tom Holland playing a younger Nathan Drake. I can see it working because it's a young Nathan Drake. Tom Holland's basically a good acrobat. He does Spider-Man, so I can see him pulling some of the stunts that Nathan Drake does. So I can see that working. The only thing I'm a little upset about is Travis Knight isn't still the director.
Yeah.
With the movie.
Travis Knight of Bumblebee and Kubo and the Two Strings was originally attached to do, and I'm a fan of his so far. He's done some great work. He left to do Lewis, what's he working on? He's doing something else cool.
Travis Knight? You stumped me there, man. You
Travis
stumped
Knight,
me.
I'm looking it up. He did
but on the director's tip, there's been like 10 directors announced for this in 2008. They announced the film was in production. There's been so many directors. Man, I think it's a world record.
Yeah. But looking at the,
we had crazy how it's kind of like what?
But so you're excited. So yeah, I'm with you. I like Travis Knight. Again, Bumblebee and Kubo and the Two Strings. I'm trying to figure out what he is currently working on. But he left. There have been numerous, as Lewis said, 10 directors have come and gone. And I imagine they were all very Kubo and Strings was very good. Below, I just wanted to call you out because I love that film.
He's working on a $6 billion man, according to IMDb. But that's been in the works for a long time as well. So, it is what it is.
It's completely. Yeah. So back to you, Brandon, because you, as a fan of the game, it doesn't bother you then that he's not, older. I mean, everyone sort of envisions Nathan Fillion, like he made that fan film that did really was very popular. It was a cool film. Did you see that fan film?
Oh yeah, I liked the fan film, and I liked the guy that did Sully in that too. I would have preferred him as Sully over Mark Wahlberg. But I mean, since Nathan Drake's gonna be younger, makes sense to have a younger Sully too. Yeah, kind of makes a little more sense.
But he's always older than Nathan, right? He's still older than Nathan even in the games.
Yeah, Sully. Yeah, Sully's older.
So Brendan, let me ask you, Brendan, real quick. Since maybe they want to play the long game and they want to have Holland in there for 3 films, and he's young right now, and by the time they start production with this, it'll be maybe a couple years. You know what I mean? Would that be a possibility?
Yeah, that might be a possibility. I mean, over the course of films and movies, yeah, people get older, so technically that could work. So I can see.
Would Chris Pratt have been good for you? Because at one time he was in talks.
They put him on everything.
What are you looking most forward to at the movie to accomplish?
I just see it. I mean, I could kind of see Chris Pratt as Nathan Drake, but I don't know how well that would work out. Personally, I kind of like Tom Holland better.
Yeah, and it's like he's already up for Indy. They keep saying it, and he's not. Whatever, but I don't like that Chris Pratt just gets every archaeologist role now in the world, and now Indy, and then Uncharted. It's like I don't know. Am I the only one who's getting a little Chris Pratted out? I want to see him do something different.
I know.
He's not really getting much. They talk about him, but if you look at this pattern, it's all in the Sony family. So, and I think Tom Holland is eventually going to be landing with Sony as well with Spider-Man. And it's going to be a perfect timing here when Uncharted finally gets going.
Well,
and,
I want to say, Justin Lee, I see you as a big Uncharted game fan. I don't like this film at all. If you are, hit me up on Twitter. If you're on a webcam, I will port you into this conversation because I'd love someone to actually tell me why. So hit me up at Andy Signor, and I will give you the code to join the call. If any of you are that passionate or know this game, that's how the show's going to start working. I want to bring in people like Brendan and all of you to sort of join the conversation to get this more of a fandom dialogue. So at Andy Signor on Twitter DM is the quickest way to get in. That's how Brandon did it. I'll give you the little magic link, and then with a webcam, you will portal into this conversation. But Justin, I hear you. I'd love to hear why. So feel free to reach out if you like to talk about it. Some of you are at work and can't. I already found that out. But anyway, I want to get to the question of, so we know you said you're fine with Tom Holland, Mark Wahlberg. I think those are two great actors. I'd watch them together. But now we have this new news of Antonio Banderas joining it as well. And now Variety is reporting this, but saying it's an unknown role. But I'm going to call it, and I feel pretty confident he must be playing this villain role that we know is in the script. The way they send out these production documents, how we sort of get this information. There's sometimes it's a lot of spoilers in there that we didn't want to go to spoil. But this character of Johnson seems like that would be a pretty no-brainer role for him. Intimidating, tough, superior physical skills, and a charm that can make a darker, menacing side. So I assume he's up for that. There's also talk of two new other castings, Sophia Ali, who I didn't know. This is her, Sophia Ali, portraying. I'm sorry, what's her name in the film? Chloe Fraser. She's a big role in the franchise. Yes, Brendan.
Yeah. Yeah. I think so.
We have this, so I don't know her. I'm not familiar with Sophia Lee, but there she is. And then we have also up was Tati Gabriel from the 100 is also rumored to be Chloe. And so these are the two casting people we are assuming one of them would be, if they're announcing them as female leads, one of them must be the new Chloe. I don't know the game or not. Do either of those seem appealing to you or interesting to you?
I mean, I like the first one a little more personally because I don't know. She just kind of seems more Chloe-ish to me. Like
she looks more the Chloe
sense.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know. Find out she's in Shake It Up. I don't know. I got to find out what other movies this person is in. But even as I looked this up on no, they're not even crediting her with anything yet. But I'm a fan of Antonio Banderas. He was really fantastic in that new film he did, Love and Pain and Glory, Pedro Almodovar's. It was really fantastic, and I liked him in Doolittle. So if Antonio's coming in as the villain now, I think they're only amping up and making it a pretty fantastic cast to get us excited about this.
You think he's going to play it off more comedy, more comedic, maybe? Because he does.
Yeah, what do you think the tone is going to be, Brandon? Based off the games, what would you expect the tone of this movie to be?
I expect it to be kind of like half and half. Like I expect balance, darkness, and comedic tone. Because Tom Holland, he's kind of a funny guy in Spider-Man. Antonio Banderas, how I kind of see the guy, I see him as kind of a comedy guy, but as Uncharted, the games does have some of that darkness to it, so I can kind of see it kind of being balanced, maybe. I mean, personally, that's just my thoughts. So,
well, there you go. I mean, I see some commenters here. I want to get through some of them. We'll move on to the next topic. But I saw, let's see, this still waiting. I mean, yeah, I'm still waiting for my Halo movie. It's true. Well, how long is that going to take, Microsoft? My God. Sorry. That is one I feel like now with Sonic, though, doing well, it doesn't surprise me that this is now getting fast-tracked. It feels like there's a lot of people who are probably like, I ain't doing a video game movie. And then when Sonic broke all those records, people are like, okay, maybe this isn't a curse. So, yeah, we already had Justin. I didn't see Justin's reply there. I wanted to see if he's the one who really didn't hit. It's kind of hard for me to imagine Tom Holland running around with a machine gun. Is that hard for you guys to believe too?
No.
I don't think so.
No, I can see it.
Yeah, I can see it. Vitaly, I respect you, but I don't know. I could see it do it. We got to give the guy some opportunity to grow beyond just the teen Spider-Man.
Could you picture a raccoon with a machine gun or laser rocket? Raccoon did it.
If they can pull it off, I think Tom Holland can pull it off. You got to let him act. He was really good in that tsunami movie, even though he was a little kid. Like, he's shown range, is my point.
The big difference here, though, between Sonic and Uncharted is because Uncharted is going to be competing more with like an Indiana Jones, Tomb Raider vibe, and Sonic, you kind of like, you could say it's a cartoon in the real world setting. So I think the much different. But yeah, it is a video game movie. Maybe it's giving more confidence to the studio and stuff.
And sorry to interrupt, the Uncharted games and the Tomb Raider games are kind of more like cinematic almost.
Yeah.
Than Sonic. So.
And Sean said Rocket is way cooler than Tom Holland. Man, that is throwing some serious shade. To each their own, Sean. Pram says Tom Selleck would have been spot on. I would have loved to see Tom Selleck get a new franchise. It's been a while.
Digital de-aging.
He's a little up there. I mean, I agree. Younger Tom Selleck, even like middle-aged Tom Selleck, but I don't know if he wants to run around being an archaeologist now. He was cast as Indiana Jones, right? Wasn't he like the first?
He was one of the runner-ups. Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been what a crazy alternative Earth that is. Where
May have worked.
And so, all right, sorry. There's some stuff out here. I'm just trying to weed through them all to find it interesting. If you want someone to message me, but hit me up on message me up if you want to join the conversation. I told you I'm checking my DMs if you guys want to pop in. I want someone who knows the subject because I had someone who was an expert and then they had to bail for work. And so then I was like, oh, we're already going to be live. So I didn't want to, so I'm trying to give you guys something. But Brendan, I appreciate it. I mean, look, overall, it seems like the commenters here, even they're not that hating. There's a few. I've seen a few online, but I think Tom Holland has built enough goodwill with fans through Spider-Man that people are going to give him a shot. And he could totally blow it and could be a total disaster, but I think he can still move on from it. So Sony wants to keep him happy and make them their darling. So there's a lot of pressure on it, but we'll see as the cameras start rolling soon whether this actually can pull it off. Brandon, any of the final thoughts?
Any final thoughts on that? I like the casting for the movie and just the overall just news that we hear from it. The only way to know whether the movie's going to be good or not is to see it when it comes out. So
smart comment. It is true. But we have to fill sometimes time and speculate. But I was going to say, I'm on board. I want to watch it. I'm curious. I like those two. I like Antonio Banderas, especially if he's coming in as a villain. So I'm going to give it a shot once we start seeing some footage. I'm open to be surprised. Not hating on Tom at all. So even if Vitali's down, so fair enough. But there we go. So yeah, Brendan, thank you for that. You can stick around for a bit if you want to talk. We're going to talk about this next topic, which is the fact that are you a Star Wars fan? Are you a Star Wars fan?
I am.
Star Wars fan?
Yeah, I was asking.
Yeah, I love Star Wars.
So let's all talk about this next. We're going to talk about this next, the news of the day, which was the fact that apparently it's a surprise that Palpatine's a clone. Is it really like news? I didn't make this my lead story, and I'm sure a lot of other channels will because it's Star Wars. You got to do it. But I don't really care anymore. The fact that there's like novelizations coming out revealing that, yes, part of the description as Kylo stumbles upon reveals that he was a clone. I'm just so over Rise of Skywalker. I don't care what novelization says. This movie was a mess for me. The more and more time passes, the more disappointed I am in this film, and I just don't care. But to go through the news quickly, then I'll get your guys' thoughts. There's this novelization that drops on March 17th, but they did something at C2E2 where they sort of let some copies come out. And this was a paragraph from the book. As the vials, I'll read it in a narrator voice. Here we go. All vials were empty of liquid, save one, which was nearly depleted. Kylo peered closer. He'd seen this apparatus before, when he had studied the Clone Wars as a boy. The liquid flowing into the living nightmare before him was fighting a losing battle to sustain the Emperor's putrid flesh. What could you give me? Kylo asked. Emperor Palpatine lived, and after a fashion, and Kylo could feel in his very bones that this clone body sheltered the Emperor's actual spirit. It was an imperfect vessel, though unable to contain his immense power. It couldn't last much longer. So now that's the sort of reveal that comes out. Does anyone care anymore? Like,
well, Dominic Monaghan. His character said the exact same thing during the movie. He said, when they were all getting together, how could this happen? How could the Emperor be back? Dark magic, cloning. You know, he kind of said that during the film.
Yeah,
But
Dominic Monaghan was one of the worst characters. No offense to him, just like they
he
literally
wasn't even in it.
yeah, they put him in there to like say important things where it's like you couldn't have given that to Rose or countless other important people standing there. Carrie Fisher's
Oh.
Uh-oh,
All
that's
right.
not
Well,
good.
I think I was gonna say he would have preferred he would have preferred Carrie Fisher to deliver the lines, but we're here on Popcorn Planet, and I think some technical issues with Andrew, but hey,
back. Sorry,
you
I
know,
don't know what happened there, but yeah, go ahead.
all
Just go ahead, sorry, Lewis.
oh yeah,
He's
yeah.
coming back.
So I would have preferred to be more clear on the issue in the film. It's not that I don't like reading; it's just that Star Wars are movies. Because everyone wants to always say, "Oh, you don't like reading." It's like, no, man. I paid for a movie. Give me the movie. You know what I mean? So that's my thing with that.
Brendan, what do
I
you
like
think?
to read
Help you?
briefs, so.
Excuse me.
Huh?
Brendan, did you
Got
what's your feeling on Rise of Skywalker and Emperor being a clone? Does this help you, or did you? What are your thoughts?
I mean, I thought the movie was fine, but I mean, just now hearing that Palpatine is a clone feels like such like a cop out. That's what it feels like to me. It feels like a punch to the gut. It's like, come on, you're bringing back the biggest, baddest villain of all things Star Wars, and you're making him a clone.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
Well, and then when does it stop? Could he clone himself again? And then how many other clones are there? Could we have like
Exactly.
3 or 4 more trilogies with Palpatine?
It's so
that sounds terrifying.
so lazy. You guys are spot on. It's like it's just laziness of why.
Yeah,
I don't understand why they needed to justify it. It's just like and it's like if you're gonna be I saw it was Zach Stentz. Let me see if I can pull that. He made a really funny. The screenwriter I saw on Twitter. Hold on, here it is. He made a funny take of really you're gonna come back as a clone and that's the form you're gonna take. You couldn't have like picked something here. Where was it? He wrote
Something hotter.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
was it the clone? Spoiler alert! Was it the clone that impregnated Padme's mother?
Yeah,
or whatever.
Here was the quote. I wanted to make sure it was a funny quote. Hey, get me an evil force spirit clone. Hey, get my evil force spirit a clone body. What are you looking for? You at 18, idly itself, shredded abs? Nah, I was thinking more like, I look like after Sam Jackson effed up my face, only as visible and visibly rotting. I got you, fam. Just like what? Why? It's so
funny.
stupid.
Well, they said that the dark side of the force made him rot.
So he was cloned into like Chris.
The clone couldn't take the
make that
darkness.
happen?
The clone could not take the darkness. That's the excuse.
You should check out Zach always says he's as a screenwriter. He wrote Thor first, X-Men First Class, a lot of fun stuff. But he always has some really interesting takes on screenwriting. If Kylo began as Vader 2.0, a powerful Sith who was essentially the attack dog for a more powerful master, Snoke, then Last Jedi's big twist was to say, what if he kills his master? But to increase his power, not to redeem himself. But that left Episode 9 with a conundrum. Do you commit to Kylo Ren as the ultimate villain of the trilogy or bring in a bigger bad so he can essentially repeat Vader's arc? As we see from the Duel of Fates, Rise of Skywalker scripts, both approaches were tried. I resonated more with Colin and Derek's vision because he felt like the cultivation of Last Jedi's most provocative thesis, Kylo, was right, that the Jedi-Sith dualities needed to be overcome. But he was ultimately too far down a dark path to do it himself, so Rey succeeded instead. But long story short, if you think you need a bigger evil behind Kylo for Episode 9, then the decision to bring back the Emperor was probably the least bad option. Hux was too much of a buffoon, and it's pretty late in the game to introduce Sith Lord Steve or whoever as the evil ultimate Empire. He's spot on. I think he's being generous too. I don't like the choices they made. I think the lack of organization between that sequel trilogy is more and more clear as we continue. But is there any saving thoughts from either of you as to why did the movie work for you?
It was okay. I liked it more on the second time I saw it, but no matter how much you like this movie, it was not planned. So it could have been like a 10 out of 10, but you got to understand deep in your heart as a Star Wars fan that it could have been an 11 out of 10 because they didn't plan it. So just knowing that they didn't plan it scars the film. I mean, like it could have been better. That's it. And Star Wars deserves better, like being planned.
I agree.
Yeah.
I sent you a PM, by the way.
They should have had a game plan when we go.
Okay, is it too late for an Uncharted expert to come in? And Andy, I don't know if we're what our time is.
Oh, is it in there? Yeah, sure. Quickly.
Okay, I'll send them in right here.
They actually know the movie?
The game, and probably kept up with the movie. Let's see if they come in. I send them the link. So yeah, as far as Star Wars is concerned, it was not planned, and that's like really, really tough to swallow, in my opinion, as someone who has to plan out his lunch and his dinner. You don't plan out a
Sorry, I'm trying to get it. Yeah, the lack of Star Wars plan is really frustrating. But I will say their plan in Mandalorian was pretty amazing.
Oh yeah,
I watched that with my kids this weekend. I finally finished it. Like they were hooked. And it's sort of the first Star Wars my son actually like went all the way through and like wanted to watch more. And
same here.
Finally, I even like the original. It's just like they were okay with it, but it wasn't like as exciting for them. But to get this one and then get them like, I want to watch the next one. Can we watch another one? Was such a delight. So I'm grateful for Mandalorian for keeping Star Wars alive, at least in the next generation for my family.
Mandalorian is the only thing that keeps my son out of the playing Steam computer games. Like as soon so Disney, use that as a template. Please do. If I know you're watching, please do not overdo Baby Yoda. Leave it the way it is. Just the way you're going is perfect for me.
Yeah, there you go. All right, we just got someone. Who is this in? All right, let's see. Adam
Jeffrey,
what's up, Jeffrey? Are you there?
Hey, good morning, everybody. By the way, that news about Star Wars is garbage.
It is.
When I was very concerned when it seemed like Palpatine was coming back, and Palpatine. This is someone who liked Force Awakens and Last Jedi. Palpatine being in Rise of Skywalker kills the whole trilogy for me.
Yeah,
and I'm sorry how geeky that sounds. It's just how I feel.
No, I agree. Why? Give me the short answer as to why. I mean, I don't disagree with you, but why for you was it the worst moment?
It ruins the original trilogy, and we didn't need Palpatine back to validate this trilogy at all.
What would you have preferred? Did you read? Did you hear about the Colin Trevorrow script? Had you looked at that at all?
I have not. I've heard all about Duel of the Fates. I haven't read the draft that's online, which I think has been confirmed is one of Trevorrow's drafts. I feel like they needed to commit to Kylo Ren as the big bad, because that's the direction they were going after the second movie.
I don't agree.
Maybe it wouldn't have been. I mean, to me, it might not have been great, but to me, it would not have been any worse than what we got in Rise of Skywalker. That's just my opinion, my 2 cents. I'm not saying it's better than any. That's just how I personally felt, coming out of Rise of Skywalker. But yeah,
I don't disagree. So all right, so there we go. We're all in agreement on Star Wars, and I see a lot of people making comments on this. It's just overall, it's not leaving such a great impression.
Star Wars is like a cat. It may have 9 lives, so let's see how it goes, because it's been on the dumps before.
James over on Facebook says, in the books, Emperor Palpatine was a younger clone.
Yes.
So,
by the way, I was at D23, and I called Rey being Palpatine's.
You did, and you did that on a video on Nerd Report. You said she is a Palpatine. You looked at the camera. Search your feelings, Lewis. You know it to be true. We all laughed at you, but it was true.
Well, all right. So there, it's hard for me to get excited about this novelization. The fact that they made such an important, that feels like an important plot point that you put into a movie and not the book version.
Dominic Monaghan cloning Darkseid powers. Yeah, it could be. Yeah, it's possible.
It was lazy. It was stupid. They had too much to get through, and the fact that if that was really what he wanted to do, he should have implied that in the first one, or at least teased to it, and then we could have had it go up. It was a bad delivery. It
was bad.
Let's go back to. Go ahead. What?
I was going to say what they probably should have done was had Palpatine be a Force ghost, because if the people on the light side of the Force can be Force ghosts, why can't people on the dark side be Force ghosts?
I heard it's a power only the good guys could obtain, because they are they become one with the Force. But things change. One last thing about Star Wars I'd like to say. Now the books are canon, but there's fans I'm hearing complaining that it's also contradicting themselves with the new books. So that's another problem. I don't know if that's true.
There's so much contradicting between all the canon and non-canon, and then not only just what you just said about the Force. Like I do not understand how the Force works. I thought I did.
That's not how the Force works.
I like when Han said that in the first one, I was like, okay, I'm still following along. And now once Luke projects himself, and then now we're healing people through Mandalorian and everything. It's like I don't know what. I don't get it. It does feel like they're running out of ideas and they aren't following through on things and they pretending like they are. But I think it's time to like let those trilogies just okay. There they are. You can enjoy them if you want. Let's start telling some new stories in that world and move forward. So that's where I stand. And look, this novelization trying to get more. They're just trying to get some news to sell some books. And some DVDs because the movie drops soon on DVD, right, Lewis?
Yes, I'll be getting that. I'm planning a watch along. Hopefully, I don't think Andy wants to be part of it, but I do want to have a watch along.
But anyway, my point is, it's all Disney. Just like we got to put some stuff out there to get people interested in the movie again. So let's do it. It's just I don't care. I don't care.
Yeah.
I didn't lead this video that way. Sort of losing interest in Rise of Skywalker news. We hit it so hard. Mandalorian, bring it to me. Let's see how it goes. But let's go back over to you. You had some thoughts on Uncharted. You play the game. You're a fan of the game. What are your thoughts of this casting news and everything else we were talking about earlier?
So right now we have Antonio Banderas is cast in the film. Do we know what character he's playing yet?
Yes, so Fandom Wire has the exclusive. I mean, we by deduction, we know there's a new character, a villain named Johnson. And so we highly suspect that must be who he's playing. He is
here we go.
He's never been in a game before. He's intimidating, tough with superior physical skills and a charm that can mask a darker, menacing side. So that's what we assume. And there's two new females that have been lead actresses have been mentioned, but not Sue. But we assume one of them has to be Chloe. Anyway, there's also Eddie Raja, Gabriel Roman, Cutter, and Atok Navarro are also going to be in the film and in smaller roles. But Johnson's is another big character. So if they're announcing Antonio, I'd be odd they would shove him in one of those smaller roles and not give him one of the major roles. But anyway, we do know Nathan Drake is Tom Holland and Sully is Wahlberg. Thoughts?
I don't like any of this. It's a slap in the face. First of all, I think the idea is this is going to be like not like a prequel, but like a midquel. I think based on Tom Holland's recent comments, I think he feels like they've got the secret sauce on how to fix the whole video game movie thing. And didn't he imply that this is basically going to be set within the games, but not a direct adaptation of any of the previous games?
Correct. It's like a lead up to them. Yes.
That's not really a radical premise. That's basically what they sold the first Resident Evil movie as back in 2002. They didn't follow through with that idea, but that's what they basically sold. Okay, yeah, this is the prequel to the first Resident Evil game, is how they sold it.
Yeah, correct. And, look, the first one's not terrible. Is that an unpopular opinion? The first Resident Evil movie is not.
I mean, you're entitled to your opinion, Andy.
I think by the way, Andy, Jeffrey's a real good friend of mine, but he's very honest. And when you meet him in person, you're gonna love him. But he's very brutally honest, and that's why I recommended him here.
But I mean, as video game movies go, like Resident Evil 1, I feel like is like probably on the top 10. No, are there really 10 other better movies than that one?
I mean, look, even Sonic the Hedgehog, which is getting all this. Which is having like a moment right now. Even to me, that movie, it's not like a good movie. To me, I think the reason Sonic is getting so much praise is one is because the studio listened and updated the design. So fans kind of sort of felt validated. And two, the movie's not terrible. It's like a passable.
That's why. I was just going to say, but the movie's like fine, which is in this day and age, kind of a rare thing.
I mean, for some people, that's enough. Just getting to see Sonic on the big screen and kind of seeing an environment that looked like the Green Hill Zone, like that was enough for some people. But the movie is not. It's not like Avengers Endgame. It's not Avengers or even like.
Of course, it's not the end of
Iron Man.
Yeah, there you go. Iron Man's a better comparison, but yeah,
it's not Iron Man. It's not the video game iteration of Iron Man or Batman Begins.
Going to be as
whatever.
Iron Man. I mean, who cares that much about Sonic? No offense to Sonic, it's fine.
It's a great film to watch with your family, and especially if you have preteens. You
But
know,
is anyone really that? I mean, I know this is true. I know there's people in the lore, but sorry. It's a pretty silly lore, and it is what it is. It's a cartoon and a comic, but he's running around capturing rings. I mean, a plot about a hedgehog that runs around capturing rings. I thought they did a pretty good job of actually making me care about it for once. But you're not gonna fight you on it. It's not gonna win any awards. But I was surprised that I enjoyed it more. But anyway, back to the point of, can a video game work? So are you saying no video game movies work? That's a fascinating. We can go in that conversation.
I don't think I'm not saying it's impossible. I've not been really convinced yet. I think there have been some passable efforts. I think the first Mortal Kombat is a decent movie. I think it's a better movie than Sonic the Hedgehog, than Resident Evil. I think filmmakers either don't understand what makes video games work, they don't respect the mythology or the lore, and then they try to put their own nonsense in it, or they take out the things that make these games and characters so appealing. Here's what I find so appealing about the Uncharted games. In Uncharted, it's basically your Indiana Jones, and it's like you're Steven Spielberg. It's like you're your own Steven Spielberg, and you're sort of making this your own version of Indiana Jones happen. And I think a big part, the plot of Uncharted is not revolution. Again, it's Indiana Jones. It's basically, I don't want to say a knockoff of Indiana Jones, but it's basically sort of like the heir apparent to Indiana Jones, but you're making it all happen.
Right.
And I feel like,
I get it.
If you take out the whole player agency, a big part of games is player agency. If you take it out, it sort of loses its magic. Now, I'm not saying, I didn't think Sonic was going to be such a big hit, so I was wrong about that. And Lewis can vouch for that. But
yeah.
So I'm not saying this movie. I'm not saying this movie will bomb, but I feel like I don't get why Tom Holland is playing young Drake, because Tom Holland is like 25 years old now, right? He's not a teenager anymore.
He's young.
He's young, but I mean, like, Drake in his early 20s was already like pretty well developed. He was already like sounding like Nolan North. He is 23. I don't get what they're trying to do here and how young Drake is supposed to be. And I imagine, I mean, not to mention everything you do in every level, you grab guns, you break necks, and Drake kills a lot of people, so much that it became a bit of a criticism for the game. And I feel like
that's how a game works, right? You have to sort of kill people on it, but you make
I'm buying it. Now I'm buying it.
You make it to the point of like hard to take that control.
The games are a bloodbath. The games are a bloodbath, and I don't know how to get around it. Basically, you're making National Treasure. This movie will have to basically be National Treasure 3. So why not just make National Treasure 3? Because I like those movies.
Well, because Sony doesn't own National Treasure, and they want to get in. They want to make some money of their own and try and do their own National Treasure. I mean, that's why we're doing this. And for some reason, Tom Holland took himself to the material, and Tom Holland is a bankable star for now. It's a debate of who's really still a movie star that can actually make these movies. So Tom Holland's putting a lot of stock in this. If this fails, it's going to hurt him. Like, because actors of his ilk, they need to get box office in this day and age of where we live with streaming and everything. And if you can't bring butts in the seats, no one really cares. Now he's still going to be able to make movies, but you know what I'm saying? He's not a bankable movie star unless you're actually signing up for a franchise.
Very few people are. I don't even think there are really bankable movie stars anymore. It's a different era.
Totally. But I think, it's seemingly he is one, right? Because he's Spider-Man, but everyone knows it's because of Spider-Man and the Avengers. Even Tony Stark himself couldn't leave that and make Doolittle a hit. Someone's echoing one of your things I can hear. But anyway, even if Robert Downey Jr. isn't a movie star, then Tom Holland isn't either. So we have to be mindful of that. But anyway, long story short, as we wrap this up, I want to get some comments too. There was one particularly I wanted to make sure Sean said, I completely agree with Hollywood, except with you, Jeffrey, except Resident Evil is good film. Thank you. I'm not crazy. But he did agree with you. Mortal Kombat 1 is also a good movie. It's a stupid movie, but for the fact that there isn't really a plot or anything else in that movie, it at least delivers what fans expected. It gave you the costumes. It gave you sort of what we wanted to see in a Mortal Kombat film. So I agree. Most people here, are agreeing with you on this sort of take. I don't think, Tom Holland cannot be Nathan Drake. I can see Antonio in Uncharted easily. But yeah, there's some others in here. Some mean stuff I don't want to show. But I think overall, this idea of can it work? Obviously, we'll see. But fans they're a little open to it, but they're just so. I think most video game fans, right? They're just all bitter because, as you said, it's hard to take your experience out of the game. So you like it because you make the decisions. So suddenly when you're just watching a cutscene of a video game is what a movie is. And I don't know, I never liked the cutscenes. I like to play the game. Although a lot of people watch people playing video games nowadays. So you'd think this would be a hit format. No, Lewis?
Yeah, and this one being more cinematic, I think it'd be a no-brainer. As far as Tom Holland's concerned, I think he's getting too big. Does that make any sense? It's Tom Holland. Not like when I see him in Spider-Man, it's always about like Tom Holland making the news. I'm more into the Spider-Man character. He's kind of like at the point right now after all the controversy with like, Sony getting back the rights or whatnot that happened like a year ago, whatever it was. Now, I think that's why people are so opinionated and kind of like holding back on him being Nathan. What is it? What's the name? Nathan Drake in Uncharted, because he's too well known at this point. I think the best actors or actresses they get are kind of like they had some stuff under their belt, but they're not mega stars. And I feel like he is a mega star. So I think that's why we're getting so much controversy. Him and Mark Wahlberg as well, because I see a lot of people being on the fence about Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, I don't know why people are on the fence with him. I mean,
hey, Nate Drake, say hi to your mom for me.
Say hi to your mother for me. Look, he's good. He's good. I got no problem with Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
I mean, as you just said, biggest problem for the film is the casting for Nathan and Sully. So look, you can't please everybody, obviously. But this film, clearly Sony's going to try and make the money. That's what we know. I appreciate you, Jeffrey and Brendan, coming in to sort of offer your insight for the game. It does help. As we wrap up, though, I think, look, I'm going to watch it. I'm going to give it a shot. It feels, though, very similar to, I would say, the Alicia Vikander Tomb Raider reboot, which we didn't need, but sort of took a serious cinematic route with, good actors trying to do their best.
I have some thoughts on that one.
Quickly, what?
Well, I thought Vikander was perfectly cast as Lara Croft, but the script was awful because they removed all the kind of the dark sort of Revenant. It could have been like a more action heavy take on the Revenant, I think.
Yeah, interesting. I mean,
and I feel like that movie was kind of just there. It was okay watching once, but that's about it.
The stuff with the father, like Lara doesn't have to do anything herself. Her father does everything for her in that movie.
It's true. It's sort of. Did you guys like the Angelina Jolie versions at all?
Angelina Jolie, yeah.
No.
Does that count? No. I don't remember them. I don't remember.
No.
I never understood why people gave that a cat. I mean, she looked great. That was sort of all they focused on was that. Oh, she looked bosomy. Oh,
the first one was it was a fairly decent sized hit for its time back in 2001.
Yeah, so, no, it was successful as these sort of shows go. Chris says that thinks Uncharted is going to be interesting, and then some people. I liked the first Tomb Raider. A lot of people saying the first one. I agree. Cradle of Life was not as good. It was okay, but not good. That's how I'd sum it up. I didn't hate it, but I watched it so long ago. It was a different time. Was it 2000? Yeah. Different time, different place. We weren't so bogged down with so many bad video game movies, one after another. And they put a movie star at the time, Angelina Jolie, was sort of the big casting. Like, oh wow, that helped. But it was silly too. I mean, that also was trying to be Indiana Jones with sexy girls was really what they were trying to make.
Wasn't it released during the Mummy era when we were like kind of like on the verge of breaking into the?
Brendan Fraser brought it back first. Yeah,
we were in the verge of breaking into that heavy CGI era where it kind of didn't look great, but they were still doing it. So
yeah, no, I appreciated the idea of Alicia Vikander's version, but it didn't work for me. So anyway, this one I think probably won't be as serious. They'll have some serious moment if they need it, but it feels like this one's going to go for more of the popcorn movie, go on an adventure with good actors, Antonio, Mark, Tom Holland. I'm sure they'll keep casting other those supporting roles, but that's what we know so far about this film. I do want to wrap this up so we can to end this stream. I appreciate all your comments. We'll be back tomorrow. I don't have much more to offer on this subject, so I just feel like I'm just constantly making stuff up. And I don't care about this Emperor news. Today was a news day. Emperor is a clone. Who cares? Oh my God! Just move. Can we talk? What's next? Let's do the next one. I want to thank Jeffrey. Thank you for coming on. Where can people find you, Jeffrey?
So you can check me out on YouTube and Twitter at on Twitter at Wheeljack83. YouTube, Hollywood Purgatory. And for my writing, check out 411mania.com and Apple Podcasts, the 411 Wrestling Interviews podcast for my interviews with pro wrestlers.
You guys got all that, I'm sure. You wrote it all down. There we go. It's too much. No, but you have to send it to me. I'll put it in the description so they can click on it. And then Brendan, Bullet Scare 22. Thank you for coming in, man. That was a fun fan drop in. Come drop in anytime. Anything you want to say as we wrap up?
I was just wanting to ask what your guys' favorite favorite video game movie. Mine's personally Need for Speed. Okay, I like that movie.
Yeah, it wasn't
Mortal Kombat.
He's got Mortal Kombat. Lewis, what's your favorite?
Tron.
Ooh, it's tricky.
Legacy.
What?
Yeah, I love Tron. I'm sorry, bro. I knew.
That was good.
Daft Punk, baby.
Probably go Sonic.
I like it was good.
Sonic was really good too. It was fun if you have kids, man. If you have kids, that's the way to go.
It was the funnest time I had the movies because they just loved it. It was pretty well done. Surprisingly, it was. Look, it's not like I said, it's not winning any awards, but I didn't hate it. Jim Carrey was fun back in his prime. I thought I cared for him at the end. There were a few audible ahs throughout the movie, like a good message for the kids, fun.
Shout out to Jody's Corner. Woo!
Hey, Jody. What up, Jody? And he wants out. That's another topic. But thank you for watching, Jody. But anyway, yeah, Uncharted. Look, I'm on board to watch this casting. I see a lot of people are hating on it, but I'm on board. And then as for Emperor cloning, I just don't care. I couldn't care less about a topic. It's just a slow news day. I like having a topic where I'm more care about. You know what I'm actually very interested in, YouTube, who's watching me still? I'm going to be posting a video about this more specifically. But those of you who made it all the way this much, go do me a favor and go over to youtube.com. I'm going to show it to you. youtube.com/hugging the cactus. If you haven't already, I want to do a mug plug to my personal project that I'm doing aside from movie stuff. For anybody who doesn't know my journey, you can learn more over there. But I had an interesting couple years. But you can go over to Hugging the Cactus, learn about sort of cancel culture type of stuff that happened and me trying to do my fight to stop it. If you go over there and subscribe, I'm already logged in, so I can't subscribe. Go subscribe. I'm going to have a very interesting video drop today. Pretty much right after the stream, where I had interviewed my mom about being canceled and all the stuff that I went through, and it's a very interesting conversation. We revealed some stuff. She called out some people. It was a very fascinating. What happens when you have embarrassing things released and your mom's reading them on the internet? So many fascinating things she'll be able to read about me. But I hope gives a lot some insight, and maybe help some other people out there who might be struggling like I was at the time. That we got to be nice to each other. Let's stop being trolls to each other on the internet. No matter what happened, look for facts. Let's be fair to each other. That's the goal of this place. So if you like that sort of stuff, please go over there, hit a subscribe.
It goes both ways, everyone. It's on both sides.
Both sides. You got to always hear everything. So go over to Hugging the Cactus on YouTube. Subscribe for me. Stay tuned for some video drops that are coming this week and later today. And I'll be on Popcorn Planet. I'll be posting a big video, a tease of that video that you can watch here to hopefully inspire you to go watch the full one, because I need people to go watch and subscribe to that channel for it to take off, to allow it to get active so I can start making my series over there. So thank you. If you want to, that's what I really care about today. So go check that out. I'm going to go do some more work to get that ready. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned on Fandom Wire News over on Facebook. We got lots more breaking news. Respect and shout out to the legacy of James Lipton. That's really sad news today. I used to watch Inside the Actor Studio a lot, and that's sad news that we lost him today. There were some fantastic interviews. I watched as a kid. Very inspiring interviews, watching actors come in there. And I always loved his sort of 10 questions of what's your favorite word? What's your least favorite word? What's your favorite curse word? It always seems so silly, but it actually was a really fascinating insight into those actors that you don't usually get, filmmakers and actors. But I did want to say tribute and mass respect to James Lipton, and all thoughts are with his family today. That's what we got. More news breaking over on Fandom Wire News over on Facebook, and you can subscribe to more videos all the time over on YouTube as well, Popcorn Planet. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Thanks for joining me, all of you guys on the stream today. We'll be back tomorrow at 2 p.m. As well as all over content. Got plenty of content for you. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have an awesome day. I will see you soon. Bye.
Have a good day.
Good day.
Yeah.